You know, I find it kind of ridiculous that I have to put this sort of disclaimer at the start of one of my videos, especially when the thing I'm about to complain about should be common sense to most people. I mean, it's one of the first things we learn. The movie theater is not your personal living room. I mean, again, if you're laughing at a joke made in the movie, and even if you're like having a little bit of a cheer of an awesome moment, like say if you're watching Godzilla or the Avengers or something, that's fine. But nobody comes to the movie to hear the commentary of two flighty housewives. That is not why we're there. So constantly doing, oh, you go girl, or oh no, he didn't, or I'ma smack him, or something like that is just stupid. It's stupid. I mean, is the concept of keeping your mouth shut when the movie's playing just so foreign to people today? I mean, gah! The reason why I mention this is because at the particular screening for this film that I went to, there were these two annoying women right behind me making all the stupid commentary that I just described, and one of them even let out a woo in the middle of the film at a moment that didn't really warrant it. And again, it's not like we were watching like a superhero film or an action film or anything. This was a historical drama. And it didn't even have anything that warranted any of that, and so it was stupid. It was really stupid. And so, I'm mentioning this because, well, I can't in good confidence say that I was able to give this film a fair look because of how distracting it was. So, I'll discuss the thoughts that I have about the film based on what limited memory I have, but I pretty much have to give you a fair warning. May not be the best gauge of the quality of the film because of just how lousy the movie-going experience is. So, take it for what it's worth. These are just kind of my thoughts. Not even going to really give it a rating because I didn't really get to look at the film in earnest and actually analyze it because of it. So, yeah. On a final note, Megaplex, hire some ushers. Have them either stand in the theater or close to the entrance. That way we don't have to go all the way to the ticket office or the podium just to get someone to intervene. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Belle is a film from the Toronto Film Festival that follows the story of Dido Elizabeth Belle Lindsay, who was the illegitimate daughter of a Royal Navy admiral and an enslaved African woman. She's sent to live with her great-uncle, the Earl of Mansfield, who's also the Lord Chief Justice of England and Wales, and is basically raised as a member of the family, but because of the color of her skin, she's not allowed to take part in some of the key traditions that befit someone of her station. And it pretty much leads to the usual tale about love, oppression, identity, all amidst a backdrop of 18th century London as the Lord Chief Justice of England and Wales is about to make a ruling on the... don't know what the case, I don't know what the name it actually is, but it's about the Zong massacre, a slave ship that drowned, I think, 147 slaves and was seeking money from the insurance company that was insuring the cargo. And yeah, I think the first thing I pretty much have to kind of throw out there right away is that this film is historical fiction, not actually historical fact, because there wasn't much known about the actual Dido Elizabeth Belle Lindsay, aside from anecdotal hearsay and the painting that's currently hanging at, I think it's a castle in Scotland, it's where it's currently hanging, but it did hang at Kenwood Hall for a brief amount of time. But yeah, the historical accuracy of the film is highly suspect, because although watching the film, the quotation that you can tell that they lifted from whatever documents they had about not particularly the case, but about William Murray, the Earl of Mansfield, Lord Chief Justice of England and Wales at the time, the ending speech they have the character give as he's making his ruling isn't actually from the Zong massacre case. It actually comes from a different case called Somerset versus Stewart, which actually was more addressing the legality of slavery. So yeah, don't go into this expecting to get a lot of historical fact, people. The first thing that I can say about the film, based on my very limited memory, is that there isn't much about the film that stands out visually. The cinematography isn't very dynamic, definitely more utilitarian, serving more of a practical purpose as opposed to an artistic one. This is definitely one of those films where the focus is more on the acting and the dialogue. However, it doesn't quite have the extra punch that a dialogue-driven film needs in order to really carry any staying power. The film was pretty much shot and paced like a BBC soap opera, and frankly, with the story they were trying to tell and kind of the ideas and themes they were trying to address, probably would have worked better if they shot it and basically had it as a TV miniseries instead of a feature-length film. While the technical aspects of the film were produced with a good degree of competency, the story, while moderately entertaining, kind of suffered from a case of thematic bulkiness, as it was juggling the themes of oppression versus freedom, marrying for love as opposed to marrying for status, discovering a sense of identity, the nigh cutthroat social world that the women of the time were growing up in. It really needed to narrow its focus a little bit. I mean, again, easy to get into, the characters were somewhat likable, but it just felt kind of there. The acting was nice to watch, the performances were pretty good all around, but like I mentioned before, it really needed that extra oomph to carry a lot more staying power instead of just coming across as your typical feature-length, independent prestige piece. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the film based on what I was able to pay attention to during the course of the movie-going experience, but because of how lousy it was, I can't in good conscience give the film a rating, or at least a solid rating that would allow me to feel like I did my job as a critic. If the demand is high enough, I may go and try to watch this film again, look at it a little more closely, and actually give it a more fair review. So, no rating this time, but those are my opinions of the film. Do with it what you will. It's been getting pretty good reviews from other people, so yeah, maybe worth your time, especially if you're more into historical fiction, so that's all I can really say about that. I mean, if you want me to actually look at the film again and give it a more fair review, comment below. But all I can say is, we really need more theaters like the Alamo Drafthouse here in Salt Lake City. Like, badly. I mean, if there's any theaters like that, you know what, yeah, if there's any theaters that pretty much run their business the way they do at the Alamo Drafthouse in Texas, comment below, because I want to know, because if I'm gonna go see this film again to give it a better review, I definitely want my money going to the right people. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Romney's Reviews. Hopefully I'll have a better movie-going experience when I go to view X-Men Days of Future Past, so tune in this Friday for my review of that. See you then.